of 83-79, and for the first time in 4 years, Mark, the Deacons off or knock off a top 10 team. Wake stays unbeaten at home, 15-0. The students have stormed the court as Wake hangs on to beat the Devils 83-79.
That was a call. Learfield Sports Wake Forest Radio Network, as Wake Forest, a favorite in the game, knocks off a top 10 team, unranked team, knocking off a top 10 team again.
Again.
Oh, weird. We've heard this one, but Vegas had the foresight. They're like, we're going to favor. Man, they would be underdogs.
Unranked team knocking off top 10 team. Why is Vegas in on that?
Because I think that was the 38th unranked team to knock off a top 10 team this year. I believe that, unless there's any others that I missed over the weekend. It's quite jarring to see how many of these upsets that we are having in college basketball. Like, it's crazy. Now you have Houston, the number one ranked team in the country. Circle that one for your March Madness brackets that you're going to be all filling out. But the aftermath of that court storming at Wake Forest is now everybody wants to place the blame. Where do we go? John Shire, immediately after the game, head coach of the Duke Blue Devils.
I'm more concerned about the well-being of our guys. Flip sprains his ankle. When are we going to ban court storming? Like, when are we going to ban that? Like, how many times does a player have to get into something where they get punched or they get pushed or they get taunted right in their face? And it's a dangerous thing. You look around the country and Caitlin Clark, something happens. And now Flip, I don't know what his status is going to be. He sprains his ankle. And it's one thing, like when I played, at least there was 10 seconds in the court, you would storm the court. Now it's the buzzer doesn't even go off and they're running on the floor. And this has happened to us a bunch this year. It's part of it. We need to be better. We need to learn from this. That needs to stop.
I like that Shire at the end says, this happens to us a bunch. It's part of it. Yeah, you're Duke. When you lose on the road, people are it's a big deal because you're Duke. But what we had in Kyle Filipowski, if you missed it, he got stepped on by somebody, sprains his ankle. It was not a good situation. But everybody is blaming the students in these. The Caitlin Clark incident, where I still am on board with, she flopped on that one, as the young woman on her phone even was moving one direction.
Oh, the way she acted was so ridiculous. Honestly, Filipowski also throws his arms out and gets himself caught in this too.
Which I think that when you see that rush of people, I think that's your natural reaction, is create space for yourself. But everybody wants to just go right at the students who are doing this. And court storming is, does it happen a lot? Well, this year it happens a lot because you have all these unranked teams knocking off top 10 teams. It's incredible what we're seeing. But we do see a lot of court storming, and it seems to be happening more and more often. But Jay Billis is going way beyond it.
But the truth is, nothing's going to change now. We're going to talk about it, and it's going to go away, and nothing's going to change. And if they wanted to stop it, they could stop it tomorrow. The administrators will tell you that security experts tell them that it's not a good idea to try to stop the court storming, that could cause more problems than it would solve. But you don't have to stop the court storming. One time, all you have to do is, once they're on the court, don't let them off. Just say you're all detained and give them all citations, or arrest them if you want to. And then court stormings will stop the next day.
Get out the paddy wagon.
There's no accountability for this. The fans feel like it's an entitlement, and the universities like it, and the truth is we like it.
The truth is we like it.
Also, real quick, Duke, did you storm the court after Coach K's 500th win against North Carolina in 1998?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did? Weird.
But nobody was hurt. And this is the thing, is somebody got hurt, and that is the problem. But we are putting it all on the students. And look, I think if somebody does get injured in it, I think it's okay if you hold that person accountable. Just for storming the court, you don't arrest every single person that storms the court. But how many times have we seen it where it's incident-free? And I think what Shire was saying is you would wait 10 seconds. Do you see what happened on last week? I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday when Creighton beat UConn.
Yeah.
In another unranked team at home, beats the number 1 team in the country.
Beat the brakes off them.
Creighton's fans stormed the court.
Sure. It was their first win over a number 1 team in program history.
What we are blaming in all of this is the students for being college students.
Yeah.
That's what they do. Do you see what security did at Creighton? The security went and they formed a wall knowing that the court storm was going to happen, and they blocked off a pathway for UConn to leave the floor. Yeah. And they were arm in arm. They said, you're not getting near the players. You're going to be coming off the floor.
Ta-da!
Nobody got hurt. And there was a clear path that UConn could exit the floor. And there was an opportunity for Wake Forest in their security
to do that because there's a timeout.
There's a timeout with 1.8 seconds to go right before that steal. And that is when security usually gets in place. And like coaches actually go through this in that situation where and Seth Greenberg did a really good job of kind of outlining this in that he was upset that somebody got hurt, and it does suck.
Yeah,
especially
no.
for a team like,
I don't want to see that happen to a guy. He's going to be an NBA draft pick. Like, you don't want to see that happen.
But he also said that we call those timeouts for that reason, because you know that this is going to happen. Everybody knows this is going to happen, especially in a game like that where you're sitting there and you're going, we actually feel comfortable with where we are in our lead heading into this game, because it was 83-79. It was a 4-point game at that point. Like, you're calling that with 1.8 seconds to make sure all of this gets sorted out. Security didn't do their job either.
Yeah.
Like, where there's drunk idiot students, absolutely.
Always.
Absolutely. Welcome to college. But it's also a security thing. And I love that we need to get rid of court storming. It's terrible now. It's never been great. There's always some idiots. I remember the Washington State with Austin Seferian-Jenkins. There was an issue after a football game. Every now and then there are these issues that do arise. Mostly, though, it is incident-free.
It's the price of freedom, Dusty.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'd say that jokingly, but it kind of is.
But those moments, though, that's part of the college experience, though, is when you have a moment like that. But the way that ended, I hope it just doesn't derail Filipowski or
Duke.
Even though it's like most of us don't like Duke.
Nobody but Duke likes Duke.
You don't want to see this happen.
I love Duke.
To anybody. Oh, hey, Coach K's here.
Hey,
how you doing, Coach K?
Thanks for joining us.
How you doing?
I love Duke.
That's pretty good, Coach K.
Coach K, think of like Shire handled that with like, when are we going to ban court storming? But he actually thought. Could you imagine what Coach K would have said? Coach K would.
Oh, he would have hanging people in the square, people cutting off hands and limbs. How dare they?
Yeah, it would have been.
Don't they know this is Duke?
Do you know who I am? Yeah. That's not how you. He would have given everybody a long talk like he did Dylan Brooks in the NCAA tournament.
You know, it's just a shame that kids can't figure out how to comport themselves after a big victory.
You do. That's a really good Coach K. That's good, Coach K. I like that. We're not banning court storming.
No, grow up. Have a little bit of fun.